Hello, Arts Academy, and welcome to the newest season of Arts on Air. In today's episode, we will be talking about the art show in the gallery, the Mr. George mural, and the mobile bus of tolerance. We will have two special guests with Tion Thomas and a special announcement at the end of the episode. First, we have some pictures from the behind the scenes of the high school musical. This year, our musical was Beautiful, which tells the story of Carole King's career, background, and journey from obscurity in Brooklyn to becoming a legendary musician. The main cast consisted of Veronica Cline as Carole King, Remy Smith, Andrea Henry, Sam Toe, Anya Rodriguez, and Raven Andrews. There were a total of 4 shows from the 25th to the 28th of March. Now we'll be hearing more about the musical from lead actress Veronica Cline. Over to our media representative, Tion Thomas.
Hi, my name is Tion Thomas. We're here with
Veronica Cline.
And today we're going to be interviewing her on the musical Beautiful. Can you tell me about yourself, what major, your grade?
I'm a senior. I'm a vocal major. That's pretty much it, yeah.
How long have you been doing theater?
I've been doing theater since 6th grade. That was my first musical, was here at Matilda Junior. It was very fun.
What role do you play in this musical?
Well, I play Carole King in Beautiful. It's very fun.
Why did you audition for this role?
Well, my grandma, she really loved Carole King's music, and my mom, she still loves Carole King's music. And I just I really like her. I really like her as a person. And she's still alive, 84 years old, kicking, so I wanted to do her justice. I think that's really why I wanted to audition.
What made you want to be a part of this musical?
I think it's because, it's like your last year, you want to go out with a bang, and I watched the musical when I heard we were doing it, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is a really, really good show with, a really good message to people, everybody out there, and I think that's why I wanted to get her message across, and I wanted to get all of these songs, and I had to do it right, because if we didn't do it right, then the message wouldn't have been across. That's really why I did it, yeah.
Why should people come see this musical? Why is it important to you for people to come see it?
Because it's fun. It's a fun show. Act 1 is, very heavy with music and everything. It's, big lights and big sounds, and it's all songs that, maybe, our generation doesn't know, but, older generations will know. Not saying that old people, not calling people old. But it's very fun. It's very lively. I think people still now can like the show. And it's just super fun. And it's messy too. And
Yes, it's very messy. Yes.
Very messy. So I think people will enjoy that as well as the big numbers. And people are getting fed drama too. So that's why I think people should come see the show.
What do you think the audience will take away from it?
The show is very women empowerment. We have two, I know there are 2 main men in the show, but I would say the main focal point is Carole and her super strong friendship with her best friend Cynthia, and how they come to terms with being women in the music industry in the 1960s. And it's even showing how people of color back then would even grow in the music industry too. They were getting hits after hits. I think people are going to take away the beauty and unity of people and the strength that can come with people. I think that's what people will take away from it.
That was Veronica Cline, who played in the musical Beautiful as Carole. My name's Tion Thomas. Back to you, Studio 200.
Thank you, Tion. Prior to the first evening performance of Beautiful, the Visual Art Department had an opening exhibit featuring art pieces that the 9th and 10th grade art majors created. They have worked on photography, crafts, painting, and animations. Make the most of it. When you go to see the new art show, you'll walk past a mural of the late Mr. George. Here's a bit of insight on the artwork, as well as Mr. George himself.
I'm Rachel Lyons. I am part of the art department here at Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts, and we are sitting in front of the Mr. George mural. Mr. George was the arts coordinator, and he worked at the school for a very long time. He had his hand in everything that happened here in the building. He was so important to the school community, not just because of all the things that he was involved in, but because of his kindness. He did everything with respect for our students and our faculty, and he was really motivated to make this place the best. In May of 2025, got suddenly very ill and was in the hospital for a long time until he eventually passed at the beginning of August. Personally, I worked with him for a long, long time, and he was somebody I considered a friend. I had a lot of help getting this mural done. It was certainly not a solo act. When I first proposed the idea to Miss Covington, I talked to her about wanting to invite people to come help if they were interested in doing so. And a lot of people take me up on that offer. Some art majors that helped me get things done. And then I also had some students in the after school program for the 5th through 8th graders that came and helped me paint it. And I had a lot of staff that came in and helped, and a lot of students that helped. Julian Miner, an alumni, came in a couple days over his college break to help me get a bunch of the beard done. Chris's fiance, Jeff, came in a bunch of times to help me paint. Jeff came a bunch. I think he was here 4 or 5 times helping. It was great working alongside him. I think it also has been good for him to have this positive way to come in and honor Chris. Right, but all the little dots and things, yep. I had access to a lot of pictures to choose from. I spent some time really going through the images, and this one stood out to me because I feel like you can see his kindness in his expression and in his eyes. It feels like he's looking over us with that part of his personality coming through. Put it into Photoshop. I made it black and white. I posterized it, which sort of breaks it into levels. That makes it almost like a very technical paint by number. And then we projected it onto the wall. We had to do it chunks at a time because the wall is so tall, you couldn't project the whole thing at once. The beard, again, because it is such a technical area, myself and 5 art majors, 2 hours to trace the beard onto the wall just because of the amount of detail in it. When the younger kids in the after-school program were helping me paint the one day, I told them that some of the little kind of blobby spots, if they looked sort of like a heart, I was making them heart-shaped. So there's little Easter eggs in there, and they really enjoyed that idea, so they helped me do that, and especially down in his shirt where they did a lot of the painting. A lot of the little texture dots are heart-shaped if you go look at them closely. Chose this spot for the mural because it's central location. It's a spot where everybody comes in for evening events. It's a spot he spent a lot of time in, being the person that coordinated everything for us. The wall is 17 feet tall. His picture is 12 feet tall. It's not a tiny representation because he was huge to our community. It had to be a monumental mural to show how monumental he was to us.
We love you, Mr. George. 1, 2, 3.
May I have your attention, Arts Academy? Class of 2020, congratulations on your accomplishments. I wish you all the best. And please always remember, with your future endeavors and in everything that you do, make the most of it.
Make the most of it!
Make the most of it is something that Mr. George used to say at the end of the morning announcements every day. It's something we've continued on as a tradition with the new people doing the announcements now. And the way it's written on the mural is actually Mr. George's handwriting. During COVID, when everybody was home, he took a picture of himself and wrote the words, make the most of it, and posted that and shared it with our school community. So the shirts and the mural, that's all his handwriting.
As I end most of our school announcements, have a great day and make the most of it.
Now for our Major Spotlight of the Week, where we interview a new major representative each episode.
Hello, my name is Rosary Javier, and today I'm here with
Gianna Doria, the art major representative.
Okay, Gianna. Well, in what ways does your major represent you?
I feel really connected to my major because of the people, the teachers. It's just a good environment to be in.
What is the hardest part about being an art major?
Sometimes we get a little bit too much work from our teachers, but that comes with every major. You have to work hard to be a rep.
All right. And what are some positives about your major?
Definitely the teachers are a strong point, like Mr. Herring, Miss Larrabee. It's our senior year. Those are the teachers we have. They really push us and help us
How does critique affect your artwork?
In 11th grade, we had a class specifically for critique. It helps you understand everything isn't an attack. Like when somebody gives you feedback, you don't have to take it too personally. I feel like having that class helped me a lot, to not be as sensitive when people approach my art and have negative views of it. And if they do, then you take the feedback, you apply it to your art next time, and you just roll with it.
Okay. What project are you working on right now?
Right now, we just finished up working on the background for the Beautiful musical. We're not really doing that much in class since we just finished, though.
Okay, and what are your inspirations?
I get a lot of inspiration from artists like Mark Ryden. I am really into cartoony, gothic stuff.
Thank you, Gianna. My name is Rosary, and back to you, Studio 200.
The Mobile Museum of Tolerance recently visited performing arts. Let's hear some more about that from Studio 200.
Hi, you guys. My name's Tiana Thomas. We're here with the Mobile Museum of Tolerance bus. And today we're going to be getting a few interviews and a couple of clips of just the bus. Let's go.
So my name is Aaron Pieri. I am an educational facilitator here for the Mobile Museum of Tolerance. As you can see, we take this bus all around Western New York and upstate New York, and we educate people when it comes to racism, discrimination. We just finished a class on social media, digital literacy, and our whole goal is to educate students such as yourselves essentially to become a more tolerant society. We are from the Mobile Museum of Tolerance, which is a museum based in LA, and that is our main goal. We go around and we educate people on tools and things that they can do to become more tolerant and more accepting towards the members of their own society.
Now, to end off, we have a special announcement presented to you by Tian Thomas and class president Remy Smith.
Hi, my name is Tiana Thomas, and I'm here with our class president, Remy Smith, who is here to tell us about this year's prom.
Hi, juniors and seniors. We would like to announce that our prom will take place at Salvatore's on 6461 Transit Road. Tickets will be $65. We do not currently have a deadline for purchasing tickets, but more information will be out shortly. Students, please be advised that you must be passing fourth quarter in order to attend prom. If your prom date is from another school, they must also be a junior or a senior. No graduates or underclassmen are allowed to attend. Prom outfits must follow the dress code, and you will be up and moving a lot, so please make sure you are wearing proper clothing. I'm so excited to see you all there.
And now the moment you all been waiting for, we'll be revealing the prom theme for this year.
Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the monies. Race ground. Wow.
A Starry Night.
Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the newest season of Arts on Air. Tune in next week for more school news and student content.